The movie begins deep in the frozen heart of a brutal Siberian prison camp right after World War II, where captured German soldiers, including Clement, are forced to slave away day and night in deadly coal mines under harsh Russian guards. Security looks deceptively low, but the endless white wilderness surrounding them for thousands of kilometers makes any escape attempt suicidal, with bone-chilling cold and isolation guaranteeing death. Yet Clement, a sharp-minded prisoner sentenced to a full 25 years, refuses to let half his life rot away in this hell and burns with one unstoppable goal: to reach his wife and young daughter back home in Germany. He seizes a rare chance hiding inside a coal freight train and slips away into the night, only for soldiers to stop the train and catch him at gunpoint. As punishment, he is thrown into an open-air cell for 2 full days of freezing rain and torture. But that only hardens his will. When fellow prisoners beat him savagely for costing them 2 days of food, the German doctor-prisoner treats his wounds and listens as Clement vows to escape again. But before we dive deeper into this epic tale of survival, don't forget to subscribe to Great Animation Recaps. It helps us grow together in bringing more epic fantasy movie content like this one. The doctor, stunned by Clement's unbreakable courage, reveals the mines will slowly kill them with poison anyway, and hands over all his own warm clothes, shoes, food, a gun, and a final request to deliver a lunchbox to his family if Clement survives. That same night, Clement vanishes into the darkness, choosing to walk on foot instead of risking another train. The warden discovers the breakout the next morning, races to the doctor's room, but finds he has already taken his own life rather than face torture. Furious search parties scour the snow while Clement pushes through blizzards, his footprints erased by fresh snowfall, making him a ghost. Days turn into an endless test of will as hunger gnaws at him and exhaustion threatens to break his body. Yet he keeps moving one frozen step after another, refusing to surrender to the white void that wants him dead. 9 days in, Clement hallucinates dogs and sledges chasing him, only to wake to the cruel reality that his food is gone and his strength is fading fast. He collapses from starvation, but revives to the sound of a seal nearby, his eyes lighting up with desperate hope. With trembling hands, he raises the gun, his last bullet flying true and striking the animal, allowing him to finally eat after days of nothing. Even with an injured leg from falling through ice, he celebrates this small victory, dancing in the snow before pressing on, knowing every mile brings him closer to freedom or death. Completely alone in the vast snowy emptiness, Clement talks aloud to himself, offering positive words of motivation to keep his mind from shattering while constantly checking his compass so he never loses direction. Weeks blur into 2 full months of relentless walking until he spots a single lonely tree rising from the white plain. Overcome with joy, he runs and hugs it like a long-lost friend, because it signals the end of the frozen tundra and the beginning of forest ahead, where survival might finally become possible. Entering the forest, Clement gathers wood, lights his first real fire in months, and sleeps peacefully for the first time in ages, feeling a flicker of hope. But peace never lasts, as a violent storm suddenly rips through the trees, uprooting giants and sending one crashing straight down onto him. Hours later, 2 gold-seeking travelers stumble upon his broken body and pull him back from the brink, saving his life just in time. The 3 men band together, continuing the journey, sharing stories by firelight and building a wooden boat to cross a raging river. Mid-river, the current turns deadly. One companion loses balance and plunges in, unable to swim. Clement leaps without hesitation, battling the freezing water to drag the man to safety, while their other greedy companion abandons them both and rows ahead alone. Later, the greedy man shoots his own friend in cold blood over stolen gold. But Clement and the rescued traveler press on together through the deepening winter, determined to reach any human settlement, no matter the cost. Winter returns, blanketing everything in fresh snow, and the heavy load slows the other man until Clement offers to share the burden, only to be attacked and knocked unconscious in a fit of paranoid greed. He wakes to a pack of wolves closing in, claws and teeth flashing, as he scrambles up a weak tree that snaps under the assault, sending him crashing down with death closing in. Gunshots suddenly ring out. Hunters from a nearby village slaughter the wolves and carry the injured Clement to safety, where the villagers nurse him back to health after years of isolation, finally surrounding him with human kindness. For days, Clement rests in the warm village, feeling overwhelming happiness at seeing people again. But that peace shatters when a letter arrives from the very warden. He escaped, ordering locals to turn him in or face punishment as traitors. Heartbroken yet protective of his rescuers, Clement leaves at once the villagers, pressing food, water, and a loyal hunting dog into his hands so he no longer faces the wilderness alone. With his new 4-legged companion beside him, the journey feels less lonely as they trek onward toward distant hope. The dog leads them to an old wooden factory, searching for scraps, and Clement follows inside, only for workers to recognize him and take him to the owner, who listens to his harrowing full story with pity. They feed him and place him on a train bound for Germany, but the owner secretly alerts the warden, setting a trap at the next station. Clement spots the soldiers from afar, jumps off the moving train, and sprints for his life as the chase reignites, with the warden himself appearing like a nightmare. The warden blocks his path, but Clement's loyal dog attacks, biting the pursuer, buying precious seconds for escape. A gunshot echoes and Clement watches in heartbreak as his faithful companion falls dead. Yet he forces himself onward, climbing a bridge and leaping onto a passing train below, vanishing once more into the unknown. If this level of unbreakable will and heartbreaking sacrifice happened to you, what would you do? Tell me in the comments right now, because stories like this remind us how far the human spirit can truly go. Years slip by, and 1952 finds Clement wandering a lively village fair in Central Asia, 7 full years after his daring breakout. Surrounded by tempting food and drinks, he has no money left, but keeps walking with quiet dignity until 2 girls selling pancakes catch his eye. One of them sees the hunger in his eyes and kindly breaks off a piece, offering it freely, a small act of compassion that touches him deeply after so much cruelty. A Jewish man watching from the crowd follows Clement to a church, later revealing he too was once a prisoner and chooses mercy instead of betrayal. He takes Clement home, where the exhausted traveler finally shaves after years, looking like his old self again. The man then hands him a forged passport that could mean the difference between life and death at the border, and Clement thanks him with tears before setting off toward the Russian-German frontier. Weeks later, Clement stands at the Russian border, presenting the fake papers, heart-hammering, as the soldier inspects them. Every second feels like an eternity, fearing recognition or arrest, but luck holds and he is waved through. Joy explodes inside him, and he cannot stop laughing, even as he walks the final bridge that will carry him into Germany at long last. Halfway across, a blinding light hits his face, and there stands the warden, blocking the path once more. Clement glances back, realizing he is still technically on Russian soil, and his heart shatters, believing every mile, every sacrifice has been for nothing. The warden stares at the man who has survived the impossible, and something shifts in his eyes, a rare moment of respect for such raw, unbreakable courage. Instead of arresting him, the warden steps aside, granting permission to cross. Clement can hardly believe it, but gathers his strength and walks forward as the warden calls out that this fight was only between 2 soldiers and Clement has won it fair and square. The words echo like a final release, allowing him to step fully into Germany after 7 years of hell. Back on home soil, Clement makes his way to the familiar streets near his house, spotting his wife and daughter leaving for church. He follows at a distance, heart swelling with emotions. He has held back for so long, not yet calling out, but drinking in the sight of the family he crossed a continent to reach. Inside the church, his daughter turns and their eyes meet, recognition flashing across her face after years of hoping her father would return. She runs to him without hesitation, throwing her arms around him in a tight embrace that carries every missed birthday and every prayer answered at last. His wife turns next, and the joy that floods her face knows no limits as she joins the hug, the 3 of them finally together again after the longest, most impossible journey any man has ever endured. Tears flow freely, years of pain melting away in that single perfect moment of reunion that makes every frozen step, every gunshot, and every betrayal worth it all. Clement stands there wrapped in the arms of the family. He fought the entire Soviet wilderness. The warden's final words still ring in his ears, a soldier's respect earned through pure, unbreakable will that turned an impossible jail into nothing more than a starting line for the greatest trek of the 20th century. And with that incredible journey complete, if you felt the chills, the suspense, and the pure epic power of every single step Clement took, then smash that like button. Right now, it truly helps the channel more than, turn on the notification bell, so you're the first to catch every new upload, never missing another mind-blowing recap like this one. Drop a comment below telling us your favorite survival moment or which impossible escape story we should tackle next. And of course, subscribe to Great Animation Recaps, because we are just getting started bringing you the most cinematic, dramatic, and unforgettable movie breakdowns every single week. Share this video with anyone who loves real-life inspired adventures, World War II dramas, or tales of human endurance against impossible odds, and your support keeps the fire burning for more epic content exactly like the one you just experienced. Thank you for watching until the very end. We will see you in the next heart-pounding recap